What's going on, guys? I will consider this video vlog 1 of me shooting my everyday life. But the title of this video is why middle class America has failed, right? I grew up in the middle class. Darius, you grew up in the middle class?
Definitely did.
So here's why the middle class failed you, is because it taught you all the wrong things about money and just enough to be comfortable, right? Just enough rope to hang yourself with. And there was a time in America where most people were small business owners, most people were farmers, most people were entrepreneurs, most people had owned rights to their own labor. And somewhere during the Industrial Revolution, we started to change that. We started to take jobs at the factory. And this led to most Americans changing from a small business entrepreneur or a dreamer, as they called it. You guys remember the American dream, the 40 acres and a mule, the idea of owning your rights, not paying taxes to a overbearing federal government. And because we've been programmed, because when you look at school today, people are learning a bunch of useless information that's not gonna get them nowhere. Because I feel like, all in all, let's be real, most of the information kids are learning in school today, you could Google. So if people are being trained to memorize and think about information that they literally can Google, we're being taught the wrong things. And the people who are benefiting from your ignorance don't care. Clearly has been shown in the last 30 years in the country. Politicians, community activists, they don't care about your education. The only way for you to survive and thrive in a world that is governed or ruled by money is to own your service and your products, and to learn how to effectively sell and market your products in the marketplace. I realized, especially in my own life, I feel like my dad worked probably 13, 14 hours a day at Walgreens, time and time again, put the time in. But what did he get for that time? He got a headache, right? He missed important events in his life. He eventually became depressed, right? So many Americans today suffer from depression because not only are they caught in a negative work cycle, they go to work every day, they do something they don't like doing, they sell a product or service that they don't really believe in, and they just wake up every day to go through the motions. And all vitality, all vigor, all enjoyment ceases to exist because they've bought into the idea of the system that says the way things are supposed to be is you're supposed to go to school and you're supposed to work at this place for 30 years. And the best way to have a retirement is to invest into your company's stock portfolio, 401k. And people don't even realize, a 401k plan, you pay the most taxes. So you wipe out half of your gains, but it doesn't account for trends in market activity. What if you're set to retire by 65, but we're in a recession? So now, not only do you pay the 40% capital gains tax, but now you're also in a position where you can't retire. You might have to work 10 more years and wait for the economy to turn around if you're planning on using your growth from your stock portfolio to live on for the rest of your life. And they give you one avenue. And that's really where the scam lies, is because nobody's safe. There's no table that stands up on one leg, right? So if you realize that there's no one thing that you can depend on that will pay you forever, other than owning a business that grows, thrives, and survives the test of time, and things like life insurance that offer a percentage that are guaranteed returns. But you need a combination of things. You need multiple legs to support your table. You should be looking at money and business and retirement as a table without legs on it, right? So your job might be one leg that's funding your retirement, but what else is funding it? Do you have a side business? Do you invest in a life insurance? Do you have active whole life policies? Do you have a way to diversify your risk in the marketplace, right? Because the truth of the matter is certain things are going to work, certain things are not going to work. And you don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work. You don't know if this particular investment is going to have equity potential at certain time periods over this one. And the key is to diversify those risks by having more and more opportunities where you can control the supply and production of a product and sell it to the general public. You think about what is owning stocks. Owning stocks is owning a portion of a business that sells products and services. If you think about where money is generated by products and service sales. A restaurant pays his employees with the money that he earns from selling plates, from selling drinks, from selling products and services. When you realize that the only way to make money, there's 4 ways to make money in America. The first is as an employee, and the employees pays the most in taxes. Why? Because the state and the government takes tax dollars out of the check before he even receives the money. So he pays for his bills with after-tax dollars. So you make $100,000 a year on a salary, right? 30% tax rate. You net $70,000 just from rip. Now, the second way you make money, and mind you, as an employee, your income is fixed. It's limited. It doesn't matter how good you do at work today, you make the same money, right? If you do a great job from now until Jesus comes back himself, you're gonna make the same money. So it's a linear trap that steals your time. The only resource in the world that is not renewable is time. You don't get more time to be 20. You don't get more time to be 30. And so when people start realizing they need to value and execute a plan that makes better use of their time, that's where you get to a place where you can understand why there's only one option. There's only one road to go towards freedom. And that is entrepreneurship. That's being self-employed. Everyone doesn't have to be Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos. But it's very, very possible and practical to build an $89,000, $120,000 a year business doing something that you love. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is not doing things that they love and making a profit from doing things that they love. Because you're not going to lose doing something that you love, because even if you weren't getting paid, you'd still do it because you love it. So it's not going to feel like work. It's going to feel like growth of a passion. It's going to feel like optimization and improvement on a passion. And that's really what generates and creates legacy and success, is doubling down and committing to one thing that is going to make you money, right? And then being the very best at that you can be, right? Sales, everything is a sale, right? You have to sell yourself on impressing your boss to get a job. A job interview is a sale. You're selling them on your personality and your skill sets and why you are the best candidate. When you start realizing every interaction, every connection is a sale, it is the exchange of an idea, then you start to realize that your time has been stolen, and that by collaborating with and optimizing your time to work in congruence with others is the fastest way to build wealth. Most people don't realize it is not until the moment where you provide value in the marketplace in a way that allows you to make money from the efforts of yourself and others that truly you scale your income beyond how much time you spend working. All right, I feel like most people don't talk about the real stuff because do you ever see like the videos on YouTube with the Lamborghini videos and they're like, come make $3 billion tomorrow, just hit the link. Yeah, and it's like, I like, some of those people have some good things to say. Some of them even have great courses. But I still feel like most people don't keep it raw and real. Most people don't talk about the inner standing that takes place and the inner development that must take place for a person to be able to execute the things that we know to do that create success. I don't think that there's really a question of what you need to do as far as how many are willing to do it. And that's where the middle class has failed us, right? Because there's a lot of people who have enough money to put a roof over their head, put their children in school, put clothes on their back, let them play some sports, go to some football games. But all in all, they don't really put that much effort into what they're doing every day. They're not trying to be the best at it. They just want to maintain a job that pays the bills like it always has. And ultimately, they become the type of people who are ultimately unhappy and unfulfilled. Because when they're on the clock, they're not doing something they love, so they don't put as much effort in. Because of that, they don't grow within the organization that they're working for or with, and they remain in the same place. They see the same things and do the same things with the same people, and that ultimately leads to being unhappy. So, the middle class trap. Most people are so comfortable making a monthly mortgage payment. They feel like all they need to do to be free, to be willing to invest 3 hours in watching television, is being able to pay their mortgage, not knowing that they're still in debt to the bank until the day that they pay the house off. So most people are in relaxation mode only because debt is floating in uncompensated purchase. It hasn't fully been paid for. And people live in this cycle continually, in a continuum. They got a new car that's $900 a month. A house that's $3,200 a month. And they've all these debts. They've got Macy's credit cards. They've got all these different consumer credit cards, paying interest on debts instead of understanding and understanding that in American business, debts for assets that produce income is how you grow wealth. Because if you think about how is money generated in the economy, in the Federal Reserve, debt creates new money. So the interest on that debt is the money that is created in the economy. Meaning when someone takes out a mortgage, right, that is how the $800,000 appears in the market, is through the means of lending it to the person making the acquisition or acquiring that loan. So what does that tell you? Debt is money, but it's what kind of debt? Most people are in the wrong kind of debt. Most people are not in debt for a rental property or a business that is generating, monthly returns, weekly returns. Most people get so caught in the debt trap so early on in the game that they never even fully get an opportunity to check in. You just sit on the sidelines with their warm-ups on. So I think about the middle class trap. Because we're born in the middle class, the worst part about being in the middle class is the lower class people know they're broke. And because they know they're broke, they can act from a place of survival that allows them to make more immediate choices and take more risks to get out of their current situation. But when you're in the middle class, you don't know you're trapped. You don't know that you're on a hamster wheel, being drained of your energy for something you don't own, for something that isn't gonna guarantee you income for the rest of your life. Wasting your time. You work at a place 20 years, you don't own the building, you don't own the company, you can't borrow from it, you can't get anybody a job there. And now you've lost 20 years of your life, your only life. put in your efforts towards something and not even your full effort that you'll never reap the reward from. But you can pay your mortgage off, but you could pay your mortgage each month like you've been doing for the last 20 years. Only to still not know if you'll be able to ever retire. Because most people don't do the math. And I realize that a lot of people find things offensive that aren't really offensive. But because we become a type of a society where it is insulting or rude to speak the truth in its true form, that you can't even tell people where they've lost their way without them being offended. Like if you start thinking about basic math, all right, I'll give you a good example, right? You ever hear like women say that women today don't need men? Now, yeah, I've heard the same thing, right? But how is that possible when the average woman in America makes $36,000? How? Where are these women at? Because it's certainly not the majority. And I feel like social media does a great job of diluting people from reality. These girls take pictures next to Ferraris that they saw at the beach. You know what I'm saying? They take pictures in penthouses at a party, and you think these people are rich, and they broke as a joke, just taking the right pictures for you to see, and you selling you the dream that they not living. And that is what I feel like creates the information gap between the upper and the lower class, because it's disinformation that is causing people to not know which path to take. They're overstimulated with information. They see 36 different YouTube videos with Lamborghinis in them. They don't know even which one to pick anymore. It's too much. And so somebody's got to take the opportunity to keep it raw, real with the folks, and just tell them, hey, look, this is how it's going to go. And if you don't like it, hey, fuck you. The shit is how it is out here in the street, in these concrete jungles. I was thinking about like the fact that most people today have skills as far as branding and marketing, because we grew up in the social media era. So we naturally have skills in getting visibility online for ourselves, not realizing this is a business model that people pay for. And so many people that belong in that middle class, who come from middle class families, end up in the college debt trap. Being told to go to school, go into debt to get a job that really doesn't exist in today's economy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got an old friend, and she says she's going back to school to be an archaeologist. Right? An archaeologist. And it's like, at what point in your life do you say, hey, I have to start learning skills that actually pay? Because I've never heard anybody say, you know, we actually really need an archaeologist at this event. We really need a freaking, what's another dumb job that they got from college? What do people take in college these days?
I don't even know, bro.
Really? Do you know what the normal thing is now? Communications and shit.
Oh, yeah. Psychologist, probably.
Like, you think about, like, imagine somebody who pays $80,000 to get certified in communications. You're a certified communicator.
They do, though. That's for some people that be wanting to be broadcasters and do all that extra shit. Go on TV.
But it's like, don't you learn how to communicate from communicating?
Yeah, with people.
Like, do you have to do an internship where after you talk with a certain amount of people, that's how you get your hours in, to know that you are, in fact, a certified communicator?
I guess.
You know how it works? You don't think it don't work like that, huh?
I don't know. I don't think so, though. I mean, it's a possibility. They probably had like a media interview or whatever. Ask for questions.
It's like people have to start taking more risks. We've been dumbed down so much in society where we used to run around and like hunt lions and tigers and bears and slaughter deer and whatever we had to do to survive. But in today's world, people are unwilling to take financial risk with fake money to make their dreams a living reality. If you won't invest 60 days of your time to learn something new, to make more money, how long until you realize that the road that you're traveling on, you already know where it leads? How long until you say, you know what? I'll just admit that I'm just scared. See, most people, you know what they say to me, Darius? They say, Dwayne, man, you're just crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I say, I'm not crazy. I'm just not like you.
They don't get it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like people call people crazy because it gives them an excuse to keep being lazy.
Hey, that's a bar too, for sure. Yes, for sure, a bar.
So when you find yourself calling people crazy for what they believe they can achieve and what they're setting to achieve, be careful that you haven't projected your limiting beliefs about what you can accomplish. Some of the things that I've been able to do today, I never even believed was possible until I set my mind to continue on this path, no matter where it took me. And literally, the mental switch of just making a full commitment to bet on myself was the biggest differentiating factor in the Dwayne that had $25 to today. We've done over 8.3 million in sales in the last 2 years, and we're growing to be a $25 million sales company in the next 24 months. Biggest difference, the way that we think, how big our commitment is. So don't get caught in that middle class trap, right? Commit big, believe in yourself, believe in what you can achieve when you put your mind to it. Focus, remove negative energy and negative communication from your life. Align yourself with people who are on the path that you're going, and you'll find your way. Hope I see you guys on the next video. Hope that this one was at least giving you a couple of things to think about and inspire you to do some self-reflection and think about what path you want to take in life and what you really want as your outcomes. But if you did get some value, or at least it provoked some critical thought, make sure you smash the like button for me. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram at Dwayne Burns Official. Can't wait to talk to you guys again soon. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.